And welcome to the September 8th, 2025 study session of Livonia City Council. Would you please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, led by the Honorable Councilman Scott Morgan.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Councilman. All right. This meeting sets the agenda for the 2025 regular meeting, which is a voting meeting that will take place on Monday, September 22nd, where tonight's items will officially be voted on. We do not show any council absence. Really fast, just to do a quick timeout. Are we live right now? I see you.
It's very dark. Signal.
We'll make sure.
Chief's on it.
Chief.
Fire chief's got it. Are we live?
I don't think so.
You may ask. He's saying hold. It's time for commercial break. Okay.
All right, we're there, guys. Up and running.
Where do you see
All right. Jumping right into audience communication. We've set aside 30 minutes for items that are not on the agenda. If you'd like to make your way to either podium, we request your name and address. You have three minutes.
Denise Micah. I have a clarification question through the chair, if I may, for a council person. Or I'll just say...
Yes,
okay.
And then we'll go right
All
into council communication.
Okay, thank you. I was confused with Council Bazinski's question or comments about who was supporting the Yes campaign and no candidates were, and yes, they were. So I have the report right in my hand. So I just wanted clarification on that. So I asked a couple people, and they weren't sure exactly what you had said. So that's what my question comment is. Thank you.
Thank you. Good evening.
Good evening. I see Mr. Varga left already, so I was hoping to ask a question. Oops, sorry. Ask a question to follow up his discussion. However, we're here. The ADA facility that these individuals live at Silver Village, the residents are not capable of moving out of their apartments, right? And you can't just tear apart somebody's bathroom and not have them be able to use it. And you can't expect somebody in a wheelchair or a walker to walk around the building to use the facilities, especially in the middle of the night, because old people have a tendency of doing that. There has to be a better way to organize this to ensure that they are not, in danger. I mean, this one woman, she almost tripped trying to go back to her room in the middle of the night. So I didn't want to talk about this earlier. Now that the mayor's office brought it up, I thought, okay, I would want to make sure that this doesn't happen again. I don't know if it's the training of the individual. I know there's a person that's managing that facility right now in lieu of somebody that is coming in within, I think by the end of the month, there's going to be a new manager there. But some sort of training or something needs to happen, because these people deserve every right to have access to a bathroom. And if this was a landlord in Livonia that was doing this, our ordinance department would be all over them, and so would the state of Michigan. So just, we're better than that. We're a good city. We're supposed to be taking care of these people at this point in time in their lives. So that's all I'm saying. And there is another woman that I talked to today who removed the linoleum off of her in her kitchen in one section because it was smelling, and she pulled it up and it had black mold. And the manager, who's in charge now, told her that she could get evicted for doing that if she doesn't pay for it. So I think it's a training issue with the person that's taking care of the place now, and you need to address that. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Good evening.
Good evening, Cindy Fleming, Livonia. I'm just going to finish what I had to say, but just jump back in time to my husband getting a text from, through a friend, a Livonia friend from Europe, where a family is so excited to see that our former Alfred Nobel Library is being in an exhibition and lauded as a great piece of architecture. So the last thing that I wanted to say was that please take the time to reflect back on the hundreds, if not thousands, of citizens who have come before you to advocate on behalf of Noble. Then please quickly come together with the administration to fund and complete the preventative maintenance that is desperately needed to prevent Noble's further decay, while a plan for restoration and community reuse can be developed through the task force. Do the right thing. Help us save Alfred Noble.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening.
Steve King, Coventry Gardens. About, 6-8 months ago, I brought to council the atrocious things going on at Silver Village and Newburgh Village, and I was invited into the residents' home, and they showed me how loud, and I told everybody how loud it was, and now 8 months later, we're finally starting to talk about it. I did a teach-in last Thursday. We addressed police and fire, deer management, Noble, Rotary, and other subjects, and not one of you showed up. Afraid you might learn something. Yeah, it's unbelievable. So after hearing Eileen speak, my next teach-in is going to address Silver Village and Newburgh Village, and you better attend that one because there's a lot going wrong in both those facilities. All right, the elevator at the Civic Center Library has been out of service, and residents deserve clear answers. By law, Michigan requires elevators to be inspected every 90 days and annually by a state inspector, with those records made available to the public. I have filed formal FOIA requests with both City of Livonia and the State of Michigan to obtain inspection reports, maintenance logs, and repair records. This isn't about blame, it's about accountability, transparency, and making sure our public facilities are safe and accessible to everyone. The community deserves to know why this elevator isn't working and what's being done to restore service, and I'll tell you why it's not working. There was a DTE brownout. It burned a capacitor in one of the circuit boards. There has been 3 false narratives the administration put forward. Oh, this is a off-brand elevator. It's Otis. The parts aren't available. I talked to Otis. The part is available. So it was this false narrative to drive tearing down the library. The atrium leaks, we can't repair the elevator, and that is disingenuous. DTE now has a program, a surge protection program. They should be paying for the replacement of this board. If a brownout burns out your fridge, they pay for it. Carrie, you sit on the commission, the library commission. You have not asked one question about the elevator or followed through on any of this. It's time for you folks to step up. Do your jobs.
Good evening.
Hi, Lynn Mills, South Livonia. Maybe I should say nothing, but that's not in my nature. I thought the comment on campaigning was a cheap shot. We're a grassroots movement, and if we can use this platform to further campaigns, we're going to do it. I fully support all candidates sitting here, standing here, talking from this platform. If they want to say Patrick Brockway, Jackie Graham, Jenny O'Connell, I support all of them using this free speech platform to promote their case, their cause, and their going forward as city council candidates. And if you don't want us to clap, Happy hands all day long. Thank you I appreciate the hard work it takes to get to where you are. It is a lot of hard work. And I just would like some respect for all of our candidates in return. Not everybody has deep pockets or large donors. And if this is the way they're going to do it, please be respectful of us in return. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else for audience communication? All right, seeing none, I'm going to move on to council communication. Floor is yours.
Thank you. Just a couple things. One, I'm not on the library commission. I haven't been since I became a council member. My job as a council member is to we oversee budgets and zonings and all the things you do here. I, of course, advocate for issues that are brought before us here on council. I constantly advocate for our library and investment in our library buildings. We've seen investments in Sandburg. In my my budget priority request, I stated I wanted the Civic Center library improvements moved forward. So that is my capacity as a council member, and that is what I'll continue to do. Regarding the earlier comments regarding campaign finance, it was presented that the no campaign, you have campaign finance committees, they file with Wayne County. You can see every donor for any campaign, whether it's a political action campaign or a campaign for public office. It was implied that there was like less than a cent, I think, per vote for the no, and 25 cents, and $11 for the yes. That was raised for votes for it. And I wanted to just be clear that the money fundraised for the yes political action committee, separate from the government entirely, not related to the city of Livonia. It was independently organized like the no campaign was, and it was not associated with any candidate at all. So if a candidate, I myself volunteered, actually I didn't volunteer for the yes campaign at all, but, I was supportive. I had a sign, I had a lawn sign. But no candidate who's running for office now, they didn't receive any funding. They weren't on any mailers related to the Yes campaign. All of the Yes campaign funds were fundraised for and used for the bond proposal only. So I do think that that's important to clarify, as it was strongly implied that those candidates were bought and paid for in some way. And
Yes, listen.
Again, anyone can watch these meetings on YouTube. They will be live tomorrow morning. This conversation began in the regular meeting, and this is the following of the conversation during the study, and I will leave it at that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Great.
Any other council communications? Councilman Toy.
Just comment, if I may. I appreciate the residents coming forward if they feel frustrated about different issues that are from the city. That's our job. And the one that even Eileen brought forward on the seniors, I would have never known about that. And going to the spree dinner, I would have never known about, and I realized Steve mentioned he said that, but Steve says a lot of things, good and bad. So I don't mean to be humorous about that, but it's true. And so, I appreciate people bringing forward. What I don't appreciate is when people lash out with people's names up here, because no offense, there's some colleagues, we like each other. We get along with each other for the most part. Some we agree with, some we don't agree with. But, let's be classy about it. In the legislature, and I hate to go back to legislature, but I have to because you represent a district. My district was 6 when I was in the Senate. And we weren't allowed to use Senator Toy. We were allowed to use from District 6. And you better learn your districts real quick. You don't know who the heck they're talking about. But anyways, in all seriousness, it made it less personal. And even when I was council president, I used to say, let's limit this because we're all doing the jobs the best we can. I don't know. I get shuddered when people start calling out people's names. And let's just be kind to one another. As far as the voting goes, I did that for some of my living up in Lansing. You break it down per votes. You know what I mean? I remember when the mayor and I ran against each other, and she spent like 3 times the amount of money I did because I couldn't raise that much. But that's okay. You know what I mean? That's all in the game we play. This is part of life, but it's also a game politics. And you know what I mean? And we all raise money because we have to raise money in order to do a mailing. I don't know how they do it anymore. Honest to God, it's so expensive. I give you all a lot of credit. It's grueling, as Lynn Mills said. It is grueling to run for office anymore. I mean, there's a lot of bows and arrows being thrown. There's a lot of people with immense feelings about things, and I'm glad they feel that way about our city, because it is all of our city, and all of us look at it in different ways. And all of us raise money in different ways, some a little bit more than others. And that was quite a difference in that vote, you guys. I'm sorry, it was. 25 cents to $11 or whatever it was, is a big spread. And more power to whoever can raise the money. But money doesn't always buy it. And you saw that. And we kept saying, let the people decide. And that's what they did. And it didn't take all that much money. I wish I had learned that lesson when I ran, a couple times. But in all seriousness, don't condone each other. We're all trying to work together, and I know that sounds really flaky and kind and all that, but in all seriousness, we're all trying to work together, believe it or not. And some of you are going to win, and some of you are going to lose. And it's a bugger to lose elections because you work so hard. But please, let's just have some good demeanor in our community, because we're all good people trying to do good things. Thank you, and God bless America.
Thank you. All right. Anybody else with council announcements? We're going to jump right into it, starting with the new business with item 1. Is Jennifer here today? Okay. I am going to allow you to say your name so I don't. I'm going to say, is it Chico Belli?
Well, her name's
Chacabelli. I was close.
She's afraid to come talk, Mr.
Jennifer,
Yeah,
okay.
really.
So, block party to be held Saturday, September 27, 2025, from 4 to 10 p.m. At 19031 Irving Street to Clarita, with a rain date of Sunday, September 28, 2025. So, yeah, what do you? Is this? You've done this before, right?
Yeah, this is our 3rd year in a row.
That's right.
Yep. Primo's is catering again. I know. We get pretty lucky. And we got the city grant again, so we're
Nice.
planning another bounce house type thing for the kids.
That's awesome. Continue it, and hopefully we see you next year. I'll open it up. Councilman Donovan?
President, if I remember correctly, the petition of the residents said they're going to bring us primos next year, and I don't see any primos, so. But I'd like to offer an approving on consent. There's no objection from my colleagues.
They might have got stuck at the cobbler's shoe repair. See what I did there? Ba-dum-bum. Sorry, that was a dad joke. Any other comments from council? So right now you have an approving on consent. We'll see you hopefully next year.
Okay.
With primos, because Councilman Donovan's not going to be sitting at the dais, so that's fine. Just bring it that time. It's good.
Well, you're welcome to stop by too.
No, thank you so much. Any comments or questions from the audience? I'm going to miss messing with him at times. Come on. Thank you for hanging out with us. Your matter is all but assured to be approved.
Thank
so
you.
have some fun.
Thanks.
Have a good one.
Thank you.
All right. Item 2 is a block party request. Comes to us from Vanessa Ming to be held Sunday, October 19th, 2025, from 12 p.m. until 5 p.m. on Pollyanna Drive, from Pollyanna Court to Carl Drive. Hello, Vanessa. How are you?
Good.
Oh, we got a Michigan State.
Uh-oh.
There we go.
Green.
Hey,
Go white, go white.
go Lawrence Tech. What? Blue Devils. How are you? So,
Good, how are you?
you've done this before too.
This is the 13th annual.
Okay.
Whoa.
All right. So, any new fun things you're going to be doing?
Nope, same
Just
old
keep it-
parade for the kids, games, toys, parties.
That sounds awesome. Council?
I'll support her even though she has that T-shirt on.
It's a great shirt.
I'll ask to put it on consent because she has that.
All right. Well, we got it on consent. Any other questions from the from council? Anything from the audience? All right. We'll see you next year for the 14th.
Yes, thank you.
Awesome. Have a good night.
You too.
We should start giving out like milestone awards, you know? Be awesome. All right, item 3 is a request for designation as a nonprofit organization. This comes to us from Livonia Stevenson High School Booster Club, as required by the state of Michigan to obtain a charitable gaming license to allow a raffle fundraiser in the future. Hey, good evening. How are you?
Council, my name is Jason Pipgrass. I'm the president of the Stevenson Boosters Club. I, as the new president this year, am looking to redo our gaming license. Stevenson had it in the past and let it lapse during COVID. It's a huge fundraiser. I currently do help. One of my children graduated from Clarenceville. They currently use the gaming license several times a year. They raise upwards of $40,000 a year with it. It's a huge thing to do. Primarily, we would use it at Vision Lanes in Westland or another venue where they pretty much manage it and we just run it for the evening. So the Stevenson Boosters Club is not just for athletics. A lot of people think the Boosters Club is, but it is school-wide and community-wide. As you guys know, we sponsor stuff throughout the city and many things like that. So every dime raised goes back to the community. So I'm looking for your guys' blessing to move forward.
Thank you.
Yes.
Mr. Chair, as
Yes.
a SHS grad, I would love to offer this on the consent
There
agenda
we
for
go.
approval.
Spartan.
we are.
We got a Spartan
Thank
there.
you.
Tell,
Go
you know
Chargers.
Chessa Turcott, she's the main secretary in the office. Tell her next time to join. No, I know her from hockey. She
All
should
right,
have
I
joined.
will. Thank you.
Yeah, have a good night. Any questions, concerns from the audience? All right, moving on to item 4 is a request to approve First Amendment to the shops at College Park planned general development agreement between the City of Livonia and Haggerty 6 Partners. This is in reference to petition 2024-02-02-03 to amend the signage provisions of paragraph 4.7 of the agreement. Mr. Tormina?
Thank you. Again, this is a request by the developer of the shops at College Park to amend the development agreement. This would be the first amendment to that agreement, which was approved on December 18th of 2024. This provision addresses only signage. So this will include both the wall signs and the monument signs at this development. I think everyone is aware of the size of this project and its uniqueness. It's about 22 acres. It includes about 1,000 feet of frontage along Haggerty Road, another 670 feet of frontage on 6 Mile Road. Whole Foods, as you know, is under construction, and demolition has commenced on the Comerica Bank building. So the signage provision that's in the agreement currently addresses the monument signs only to the extent that they would comply with the zoning regulations. Does allow some additional provisions for wall signage. The petitioner would like to modify that to allow a total of up to 6 monument signs on this site, 3 along Haggerty and then 3 along 6 Mile Road. In addition, make some changes as it relates to the wall signs. We do agree that this site is unique and it warrants special consideration with respect to signage. We do feel, however, that the request is excessive, so we would like the opportunity to work with the developer to present a modified plan for your consideration in a couple of weeks. And I'll point out, too, that with any change to the development agreement regarding signs, it would effectively amend the council resolution, right, as it relates to signage as well. So that's something that the law department and the planning department will work out in terms of a final resolution for you to consider. Thank you.
Thank you. I got Vice President, Councilman Donovic, Councilwoman Shield.
All right, thank you, and I think my questions are going to be through the chair to Mr. Chairmina, but yeah, I just drove by there and I was like, whoa, that demolition really is moving. I understand the need for more signs than what would normally be prohibited here. I guess I was just wondering why this is not going actually through a ZBA type process instead.
Well, that's up to this body
Right.
to decide.
And they're choosing to go
The
this.
resolution, as it currently reads, does require any additional signage to go before the zoning board of appeals. The request being made by the developer would use the development agreement as the mechanism to approve signage. And it's his desire, obviously, to avoid the zoning board of appeals if the council is in agreement with that.
Okay, that was the big thing that I was looking at. Do they have finalized, and I know some of the buildings they don't, but do they have more finalized, I guess, residents for these buildings or businesses?
I think the answer to that is yes, and what the developer can divulge this evening, I think he will. He's
Okay,
available.
oh, they're here, great, thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Mr. President. To the Council Vice President's point, that was a question I had called Mr. Termine and asked. And throughout that conversation, I realized that I would like this council, in my opinion, for us to have that control as opposed to sending to the ZBA. It is such a unique project and such a large development. I think the consequences are far-reaching, and I think the council should contain that authority here as opposed to passing it to the ZBA where they may have different priorities. And likewise, my hope through the chair is I'm willing to offer an approving subject to, for the regular, subject to the planning developer coming together and having a conversation, and maybe between the planning department and the developer, some sort of consensus that maybe the planning department feels comfortable with. And of course, we would ultimately make that decision, but I would feel better if maybe those two parties came together and kind of negotiated in good faith and made sure that the development agreement met all that through the legal hurdles and whatnot, and then brought it towards us.
Cool. Councilwoman Schill.
So that was my question, what Mr. Donovic just asked, but will that be able, if Rob makes a motion and puts it on the regular approving agenda, will we have that for the next meeting?
It's our hope that we would have something to review that at least the planning department believes is a better
Proposal that would be-
sign plan,
Okay,
overall sign plan.
that we'd be able to review prior to the next meeting?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. That answers my question.
Mr. President, and I would note the next meeting is the 22nd, so I'd hope that the two can work together. So I'd like to offer an approving for the regular, and we'll have further discussion from there. I would also like to note, Mr. President, that's okay, the petitioner is here. Maybe he'd be nice enough to step up and answer some questions.
Good evening, everyone.
Yeah, good evening.
My name is Gerard Marcus. I'm with the development team developing this parcel. Yes, this is our request. As developments happen, we learn things, we understand things, things evolve, things change. And, we're getting top-line tenants here who are paying top-line dollars, and signage is a big issue. And we have to figure out a way to, do it tastefully, I would say, and also do it to appease our tenants who want to come to this city and do business at this location. So, as Mr. Tormina pointed out, there's 1,000 feet on, I'm not sure if I'm getting feedback, there's 1,000 feet along Haggerty and about 600 feet along 6 Mile. As talking to Mr. Tormina, I said if these were individual parcels and individual buildings, every building would have a sign and you could potentially have 10, 15, 20 signs. And that is not what we are trying to accomplish. We're trying to accomplish the minimum amount of signs but still appease all the tenants who are paying to be here so they can succeed. And signage is important. I have spoken to Mr. Tormina initially about modifying a couple of things. I can just give you quick examples. Building, I believe, F is the one right behind the gas station. I proposed to Mr. Tormina, maybe we shrink that monument sign in order to house the number of tenants that will be in that building. So if it's 2 tenants, we limit it to 2 signs. If it's 1 tenant, we'll limit it to 1 sign. I think there's also an opportunity to work with the 2 restaurant pads for this east, maybe just do signage in front of the restaurant pad and not add monument sign there. So we'll speak with each other and hopefully we can negotiate something that makes everybody happy and works for everyone.
Sounds good.
Yeah, and I'll note, Mr. President, that, we had talked about property tax in the past. Those were all paid up. They've moved fast on the construction, the demolition of that old 100,000 plus square foot buildings moving quickly. So everything I've seen so far. It's more than that.
It's
yeah.
440,000
Okay,
square feet.
I was a few feet off. But no, I've seen great things there, and it's nice to see this development and moving forward. And I think this is going to be a really nice project for that corner. So I'm excited to see these tenants. I know we've all been anxiously waiting for what it feels like a few years now. So can't wait to see some of these these attractive businesses come to our community right there. Thanks, Mr.
And it
President.
sounds by your statement, and you're going to have more fun with dealing with some of these potential business owners. So between now until the next meeting, so
I mean, we're getting great activity.
yeah, these are good problems to have. I'll go to Councilwoman Budzinski.
Yeah, just because everyone's curious, do you have a updated timeline for the Whole Foods or the other portions of the project?
Yes, we anticipate turning the Whole Foods over to them in March of next year, and they'll take roughly 6 months to build it out. That entire building will be built, and the shell will be up by March. The buildings along Haggerty, we're filing for permit, hopefully by the end of the month, to build the rest of the buildings that you see. The big building is Club Studios, that's a signed lease, which is LA Fitness's premier brand, the other big box that you see there. And as soon as the demolition comes down, we'll start on the site work, and we're already into permits for the site work. We just have to add the building permits to the city and get the building permits to go. So that's really phase 2, everything south of the Whole Foods.
So late 2016, 27,
2026.
Yeah, we
Time is an illusion.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say that all the buildings will be up and tendered to the tenants by the end of 2026.
That's awesome.
Wonderful, thank you.
That's awesome.
That's cool.
I tell you what, the gas station, I had stopped there for my daily Red Bulls, and they are pumped. They're like, we hit the jackpot, because they're just right there.
Yeah.
No, it's a great development. I'm glad that to see it come forward, especially when those buildings were coming down.
Thank you.
Yes. So, any other questions, comments from council? Anything from the audience? All right. Well, we'll see. We'll look for some new data, and we'll see you next meeting.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Moving on. Item 5 is a request for authorization to waive the sealed bid process and purchase from a sole source provider. Comes to us from Livonia Fire and Rescue to purchase one power load ambulance cot loading system to be placed in the new ambulance from budgeted and unbudgeted funds. Sounds like a party, man. Chief, how are you?
Evening, Council. The Fire Department's requesting City Council approval to purchase ambulance cot loading system from Stryker. They're a sole vendor. We have them in every one of our ambulances. So requesting to waive the bid process for that. As far as the funding for it, we received a RAP grant earlier in the year for over $17,000 for purchasing other risk-reducing equipment, including a power loader. So with that and budgeted funds from the EMS equipment, we'd like to get ahead and purchase this rather than being in line and waiting for it.
Oh, yeah.
And we also have some increases in the prices of these coming up pretty soon, so we wanted to get ahead of that.
Is Stryker on any of the cooperative purchasing agreements?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
every one of them.
That's why I always go, because you're already leveraging it. So when it comes off to saying, hey, that we're waiving the formal bid process, we're leveraging the best pricing that's available out there. I just think it comes off goofy. And then the MMRMA, Michigan Municipal Risk Management Authority, comes through with a RAP grant. Nice work. I'll open up the council for direction.
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
If I may ask the fire chief a question.
You could.
Did you apply for the grants?
Yes.
Out of your department?
Yep.
Thank you for doing that. That really helps immensely.
Yeah, whenever we have the opportunity to do that, we try and put in for a grant when it's allowed. We purchased a loading system like this last year. There was a hold on some of the grants while they were reworking some of the funding mechanisms. So it took a little bit more time to get them, but we purchased ballistic equipment for our rescue task force teams.
Wow.
Stair chairs to move patients up and down flights of stairs, which decreases the risk to the city. Easier than carrying people by hand and safer for them. So we've done it with other things, other trainings that we've done. We've gotten it back for command training that we've done. So it's a great program.
Just a question, and it's off topic, but are your runs more this year perhaps than other years?
We are about right on track
Are you?
for
Okay.
13,400 this year, which is about where we were last year.
Wow.
One good storm throws us 200 runs either way.
Cool.
Well, there's a new station for mutual aid in
Yeah.
Northville Township now. Maybe they can share a little bit of the love back over to us, right?
That's great. Well, I'll ask for an approving if nobody else is jumping in.
Consent okay?
I think so. If Martha says yes, we're good.
Then it's done. So we got an approving on consent. Any questions, concerns from the audience? Seeing none?
And if I could get a shameless plug for our fire safety open house that is coming up here at the end of the month. Normally, the month of October is Fire Safety Awareness Month. We're doing this a bit early, taking advantage of the weather, being the first kids on the block to have our fire safety open house. So that's going to take place on Saturday, September 27th, from 10 in the morning till 2 in the afternoon at Fire Station 3, 35,000 7 Mile Road at the entrance to Bicentennial. Come out, see some cool stuff, some equipment, firefighters, fire extinguisher demonstrations, get some information on lithium-ion battery use and storage. That's the focus of this year's.
We're going to play with the striker.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. And the Plimo event.
You got it.
All right.
Thank you, Council.
Thanks, Chief.
Have a good night.
Great to see you.
Mr. Chair, one last thing, if I may. Chief, I got to tell you, in serving here for these number of years, the most standout to me was when we do that exercise with you guys over.
yeah.
That is outstanding. Please don't ever quit that for the council and pass.
We got a lot of
along.
street cred from that. I mean, actually.
It's
from
amazing
it,
to
yeah.
see these two guys suited up,
Yeah.
Rob and the
You have it.
president.
Oh, yeah.
They're a little crazy, so.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
We'll get
But
another
thank
one.
you
We'll
for
get
all you
another
do.
one scheduled. Fire Ops 101 for our council members and department heads to come out and see what we do and get a chance to participate in some of those
That's an
activities.
awesome one.
I love
Thank
it.
you.
Thank you, Council.
Thanks, Chief. Have a good night.
You too.
All right. We'll move it on to item 6 is a request to authorize appropriation and expenditure. Comes to us from the Department of Public Works for the police station fuel tank replacement in a not to exceed amount of $394,984 from budgeted funds. Do we have, Mr. Lear, floor is yours.
Yeah, so basically in the write-up that we did, during upgrading the monitoring and control systems for the gas controls at both the DPW and at the LPD site, it was discovered that there was a leak in one of the tanks in the interstitial portions in between the inner and outer tank. Basically, we had to shut them down and put them out of service until we could get them either replaced or pulled, depending on what happened with the whole city center development. We've been waiting for the results of that, and now that we're past that, we need to basically get these tanks replaced. They service both the fire station, the police, the DPW maintenance, and pretty much everything up in this area of the city complex. The initial tanks were put in roughly 28 years ago. Life on them is 25 to 30 years. So in order to basically pull out the tanks, get them replaced, and redo all the piping, we're asking for an additional appropriation of $394,984 from budgeted funds.
Okay, Councilman Donovan?
Thanks, Mr. President. Thanks, Mr. Lear, for your presentation. When I was looking at this, naturally, there's been a lot of conversation about what the future of a police department or civic center campus is, and I had reached out to you, and you basically explained that these, while at first presented as more of a police department tanks, these are not just police department. These are used by the fire department, by some DPW staff, and of course the police department. And these are located next to the police farm, but also closer to the fire station. And it works well for the fire trucks, for how those fire trucks drive around and their circulation around the area.
Yes, and as well, if we ever have issues with something going down at DPW, we would come over and use their pumps as well as them coming over and using ours when theirs are down.
So this is a pretty centralized location for all of our municipal services in that area.
Correct.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. President.
Anything else from council? I do have one question, Mr. Lair. Did you guys look at the pricing for above ground?
Yes, we did. It was actually more.
Was it really?
Initially, it's more. In the long run, there's less, I guess, reporting to state. But between the loss of space, because we'd also have to find a place to put it over there, and we're pretty tight as it is, it was decided to go back with the underground just because of the less costs up front and the savings on space.
Okay.
Is there a motion on the table?
I don't think so.
I'll offer a motion for approval.
Okay. Consent?
agenda works for me.
Perfect. Is that okay with everybody else? All right, we have an approving on consent. Any other questions, concerns, comments from council? Anything from the audience? Seeing none? All right, we have an approving. Mr. Lee, you probably have to come to the next meeting anyways if Mr. Zelinski's not here, so we'll see you then anyways.
He should be back and eager to see you all.
I bet he will. That's why the agendas were actually fairly light today, usually. With that, I'm going to go back to the audience. Any comments, concerns, questions?
I think so.
Nope. Any back to the council? I think I can safely show 7. Councilman Toy, do you want to do a send-off?
Sure, motion to adjourn.
Okay. Well, with that being
don't have
said,
some.
good night, Livonia.
There's not motion to studies.
No motion needed.
Nope, we're all going upstairs. We gotta clean up some